to meet Allah. When we get to Allah, are we going to say, Ya Allah, I'm meeting you, but you know what? Fajr I never ever read. Is that what's going to happen? We cannot put a scarf on our heads to save our lives sometimes. Talking of the sisters. We cannot cover the hair. Allah gives you beautiful hair. Are you waiting for the day He takes it away by you becoming bald? Before you covering it solely to avoid, being embarrassed that you don't have hair? Is that what you're waiting for? Or are you going to cover it at its peak? When you have so much, mashallah, you've grown old now, cover it. For the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us goodness, really. So 7 categories of people, Allah will grant them a VIP status on the Day of Judgment. And He will grant them the shade on that day when there is no shade besides His. So what are these categories? These are 7 categories of people who have a deed within the deeds that they have done that was so heavy that it is considered a good presentation on that particular day. Subhanallah. What's the main core of your existence? You know and I know. You can come forth and say, Ya Allah, I've never missed Salatul Fajr. For your sake, I gave up sleep. That could be your deed that will be granting you entry into paradise. It could be. Ya Allah, I never ever exposed my aura in front of a non-mahram. That could be your deed that will grant you entry into paradise. Ya Allah, I did not wear tight clothes. Ya Allah, as in fashion it was and as trendy as it was, I never ever did it. People laughed at me, but Ya Allah, for your sake, I covered my hair and I wore loose clothing. I abstained from wearing tights in public and I abstained from doing this and that. Wallahi, my sister, that can be your deed that will grant you entry into paradise. Why don't you do something to present on that particular day for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? People say, I'm not yet ready for it. Subhanallah. Today I got a message, some of you might have seen it, a beautiful message on Twitter. And somebody says, I'm not yet ready for hijab. That's a statement that's made by people. Well, they say, you know what? People who refuse to bath will never know what it feels like to be pure. You heard that? They'll never know what it feels like to be pure. Don't waste your time. You have your bath and carry on. Allahu Akbar. You dress appropriately in your hijab and move on. Allahu Akbar. Don't wait. If you wait, you are like a person who's just not having a bath. You will never know the taste of that purity until you dive into it headlong. Allahu Akbar. Not just putting a scarf on your head when you hear of a mayyit. Someone's passed away, you quickly draw your scarf and you walk to the home. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Sister, you are next. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. What are you going to present to Allah? Say, Ya Allah, do you know what? I really, for your sake, I covered myself. And not just cover myself, but I decided to wear something loose. Today we have a trend. I don't know if you may have noticed. Allahu Akbar. But sometimes within the homes, you have certain clothing. When they would go out of the house, sometimes you have a woman, niqab. But from the waist down, tights. So what was the point? Allahu Akbar. That's why I've said once in the past, sister, if you use that piece of cloth to cover your legs, perhaps you might have done better justice to your body. Allahu Akbar. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us goodness. May Allah open our doors. My sisters, you are living in an environment that is not easy to be living as a Muslim sometimes. But if you do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that may just be your act or deed that will result in your entry into paradise. Allah might say, I don't want to see anything else. I know the difficulty you've been through in order to keep that hijab on. And I know what you've done for my sake. I don't want to speak about anything else. Bila hisabin wala adab. There is Jannah. No hisab kitab. You go straight through, no accounting. May Allah grant it to us. Our